Welcome back to another episode of Mind Talks. Today, we are diving into a rather niche but crucial topic, the applicability of the Motor Vehicle Act for Heavy Earth Moving Machinery, HEMM, in Indian mines. It's been an ongoing debate, hasn't it?
Absolutely. It's been one of those issues where the lines are a bit blurry. On one hand, we have the central government exempting HEMM M from the Motor Vehicle Act, stating that these machines are for use only within the mine premises. But then, the courts seem to think otherwise, ruling that these vehicles should still be registered and require licensed operators. It's creating a lot of confusion.
Right. The Ministry of Road Transport and Highways in 2020 came out with a clear advisory saying that machines like dumpers, payloaders, and bulldozers, basically any equipment that's off the road and operates exclusively within mine boundaries, shouldn't fall under the Motor Vehicle Act. They used Section 228, which excludes certain vehicles that are used only in factories or enclosed areas.
Exactly. And the idea was that since these vehicles are never meant to be used on public roads, they should be exempt from the Act's registration and licensing requirements. But then the courts came in with their own take, starting with the Bolani Orelutid versus State of Orissa case. Supreme Court ruled that despite being confined to the mines, these machines still meet the definition of a motor vehicle and need proper registration.
It's fascinating to see how the courts approach this. They argued that if these machines can be adapted for use on public roads, even if they don't actually operate there, they must comply with the registration and licensing rules. That really opened the door for more legal scrutiny, didn't it?
It sure did. And the Jharkhand High Court's ruling in the sale case only strengthened this judicial stance. It seems the court is very clear that dumpers, rockers, and similar machinery are motor vehicles under the Act. The court even went so far as to say these vehicles, regardless of their usage within mines, need to be registered and operated by licensed individuals.
So here we are with the central government issuing advisories, but the courts not giving any weight to those, at least when it comes to registration and licensing. It's a classic example of the conflict between executive decisions and judicial rulings.
That's the crux of it. And what's more interesting is that mining companies are caught in the middle. On one hand, they have the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways advisory saying no registration is needed. On the other hand, they risk running into legal challenges if they don't comply with the court's rulings. It really puts them in a tight spot.
Definitely. For mining companies, it seems the safest bet is to align with the court decisions despite the central government's guidance. If they go against the judicial rulings, they could face penalties or even court action down the line.
The complexities don't stop there. Some states, like Odisha, have their own approach. Odisha, for example, recognizes the central advisory but still maintains that HEMM needs to be registered given the judicial precedents. So there's a patchwork of regulations and interpretations depending on where you are.
And then, of course, there's the issue of safety and proper certification. Despite the legal wrangling, the mining sector does place heavy emphasis on having certified and licensed operators for heavy machinery. Whether or not it's mandated by law, mining companies including Coal India Limited require their HEMM operators to have proper heavy motor vehicle licenses. The Skill Council for Mining Sector has also established certification programs for HEMM mechanics and operators that assume the requirement for proper licensing.
Yes, it's about ensuring safety on the job. And speaking of safety, it's also important to mention the role of the Directorate General of Mines Safety, DGMS. They have their own set of regulations that cover the use of HEMM in mines, and those regulations are pretty strict when it comes to safety features.
Absolutely. The DGMS operates under the Mines Act 1952 and its rules are independent of the Motor Vehicle Act. So even if the machines aren't officially registered under the Motor Vehicle Act, they still need to meet these safety standards set by the DGMS, which ensures the safe operation of HEMM in the mines.
It's a bit of a legal maze, isn't it? The mining sector is in need of clearer legislation that harmonizes the central government's stance with the judicial perspective. This would help avoid confusion and provide a straightforward legal framework for all stakeholders.
It would certainly help if there was more clarity from both the executive and the judiciary. Perhaps we'll see the Supreme Court weigh in more definitively to resolve the contradictions. Until then, mining companies will have to navigate this complex web of rules.
Well, it's certainly a situation to watch. And as always, we'll keep you updated on any new developments. If you're in the mining industry or involved in HEMM operations, make sure you're keeping track of both government advisories and court rulings to stay compliant.
That's a wrap for today's episode of Mine Talks. We hope you found this discussion on the applicability of the Motor Vehicle Act in mining operations insightful. Until next time, stay informed and take care.
Goodbye, everyone. Stay safe.